not sure to say it. I'm not sure how to say it. I'm not sure how to describe it because like, well, basically something happened that made me a little bit boil up a little bit, but I cannot get too angry, nor too frustrated, nor too anything. To be honest, like my condition doesn't really allow me to emphasize, to explain. You know, I'm actually very dizzy right now, but still, to retell what just happened to my life is basically like this. I have medical conditions. It's not really a big deal. It's called vestibular loop. Yeah, and it's not really big deals. It's only something that can basically give you quite a lot of vertigo, dizziness, unable to focus. Sometimes you see double vision, sometimes you don't. But here's the thing, it's because you have some abnormalities in your ears that deliver blood flow. You can't really get too excited. You can't get too stressed. You can't get too angry. You can't get too frustrated. You can have emotions, but you cannot get two emotions. The more emotion you get, like the more, um, like easier that you get hit by vertigo. And I'm not sure how other people have this or not because so far I know that anyone have vestibular loop, they have a very different symptom. There are people who hear very bad tinnitus. There are people who have very bad facial twitch. There are people who is like me having a very bad vertigo. Some people flat out just losing hearing. So far, I think I'm lucky. I only got like some very severe sometimes, but most of the time it's just like very noticeable annoyance of vertigo just slap me. It's not enough to disorient me to be unable to move or walk, but is enough for me to unable to focus to do almost anything. And so far, the doctors that are kind of like amazed, no matter how bad my vertigo is, that I somehow able to do task, which is weird because they do like physiology tests as like somehow I manage to function while I'm literally seeing double visions. Maybe because I'm a agent, I'm not sure. It's just like I'm powering through like lots of stuff, and doesn't mean that this is like something easy to do or like it doesn't really require any like willpower to do it. Of course it does, and also because of that, I kind of like very difficult to do work, so I end up unable to get any jobs. I can try to, but here's the thing: we hire a man who can work hard for months and then like gone for gone for a week and then come back and continue to do that work, but only for 2 weeks that time, and then like he would be gone, then for 1 week, and then he would come back and then just work for a week. I can tell you in this world, especially in the place I'm living, Malaysian, I don't think like unless I'm nepotism hired, I don't really think I can have that privilege. No way in the heck people hire some people like this. Again, it's not like I can't work. I can if I power through it, but I don't think I can power through it for like long period amount of time. Maybe like maximum just like 1 month. I would have a very bad day afterward. And this is the estimation of me just working home. So if I actually need to go for jobs that I need to travel to the office and then like start doing work, that would make me even less efficient. Due to my stuff, I have very, very, very bad. Um, I have a very, very bad like. How should I say it? Sorry, I'm very dizzy right now, but still, I had to say this. But I have a very, very bad like motion sickness too. Technically, I think it just comes in package once your the balance in your ears is screwed. Um, so even going out to eat, like just go for like a 10 minute or 5 minute car ride, it basically almost knocked me out of service. I won't really say unconscious, but it's just like the entire thing spinning around me makes my eyes hurt, and my brain's just like slowly screwing off my brain is kind of unbearable. So I do require some rest, even like I reach the destinations, even it's like a short 10 minute ride. It's really unbearable to be honest. I can bear it, but also same time unbearable. Like imagine like you every single time you sit down, you have to feel the pain of the nail in your ass. I know people can't really relate dizziness that much because not a lot of people can have like perpetual vertigo that's so strong to the point that you have a very bad after effect. Of course, people with Meniere's disease and with my like AICA vestibular loop, apparently I have bilinear AICA vestibular loop means like I got double whammy on this case. Have can be a little bit severe. Back then, most of the doctors just think I'm paranoid and hysteria on like this kind of conditions. I know myself. I've been powering through it for a very long time. I noticed like the older I get, actually the more difficult to power through it, and it's starting to affect me a little bit more and more. And I decided to see a doctors, but apparently most of them just think that I'm thinking too much, or I'm very hysteria. So I keep talking about it. I do have a lot of symptoms about like Meniere's disease back then. They don't exactly know what the heck I have because MRI machine require. I go to public hospital, so I don't really have the privilege to get MRI machine unless I'm starting to go deaf. So they just play a game of bingo at me, and apparently at later on after they discovered, and then they do have a theory that is basically I was born with the ASEA thingy, so I basically born with my sense of balance is practically screwed. So I'd been able to handle so well because back then I was still very young and then learn how to adjust it. And then something happened, and then once I kind of like aware of this kind of things, so like those kind of like situation you don't exactly know you have cancer, and then you just live a very healthy life, and then you feel like some pain, you just go to see a doctors. The moment you learn that you have cancers, and then you be like the next day you just like a dead fish. Those kind of things. So the moment I'm aware that like I have like something wrong with me, and then they keep checking it, they say like weird. I only got half of the checklist. If I really have a very bad vertigo, I should have starting to have like hearing loss. I don't really have any hearing loss, so they just think I'm either like hysteria at my, um, like kind of like think too much that I might have issues, that I get like those kind of fake symptoms because I believe myself have some issues for way too much, and I keep insisting I have like those. There's lots of cases like that, so I kind of like understand why the doctor see me that way, but I do insist that I do have something that is very strange. I don't know what's happening. I check for the eye doctors. The eye doctors say like my eyes, aside from having like slightly larger nerve than most people, just like a tiny bit. It's not really big differences. It's not glaucoma. So they say like if I see spinning stuff, this and that is like Meniere's disease. You should really do some extra tests to check it out. And then I went ahead and checked it out. Again, they still insist as basically mental issues. I've been gaslighted. Like my entire situation is just mental issues. I keep saying that I'm starting to walk wobble, this and that, yeah, that stuff. It's like it's really hard to keep up my balance at that point. Even now, I still can kind of walk straight because I use up a lot of muscle in the fiber inside my bodies to force myself to walk straight. Despite I feel like everything's in balance, I learn how to walk straight properly. It's like baby trying to learn walking. But yeah. So overall, I look fine. Trouble is, inside is not. And I go to see doctors. They keep asking me a lot of questions. Like again, like I say, The moment if they can't use a MRI machine to look into your ears, all they can do is just a game of bingo. And that game of bingo is really depends on asking you questions, and then you can the ability how much you can answer it. And because again, like I say, because doctors kind of like got used to say like I kind of like born with it, so I got so used to it, I I kind of like misunderstand like most of the struggle I have is actually what most people already have. Back in the days, I am like a little bit like easily fumbles a lot of things, so like I thought I was just a very clumsy person. In fact, actually, it's just my balance is screwed. Who knows? Yeah, but still, back then, still don't really like discover yet, so they still gaslighting me that I have mental issues because one doctor written as, and then every single time I go to see the different doctors, because it's a public hospital, I never see the same doctor most of the time. So they just look at a report and see that one guy wrote maybe I don't know who, maybe it's just one guy wrote like I have mental issue, or everyone consistently right I have mental issue. Who knows? That keep saying like yeah you think a little bit too much. Maybe it's just like burnout stuff, or maybe just like your depression or something that you can't sleep, you can't do this, you can't do that, like you can't focus. I keep saying like I'm starting unable to walk properly, and then they'd be like, all right, let's send you to another hospital for like it's like for like physiotherapy and for audiotherapy stuff like hospital. They would do like a vigorous testing to check like do you have any issues, and then they send me to the hospital, and then they finally find that oh yeah, this guy really has some problem. We really need to scan his brain, not brain. Technically, it's just my ears organs. So they finally did like MRI on my head, that take a look at my ears. Well, and then wait for 3 months, and then go to see a doctors, and then say, "Congratulations, you don't have Meniere's disease." I'd be like, "Yay!" So am I the one thinking too much? Yes, you're thinking too much that you have Meniere's disease, and then I'd be like, "All right then, but no, no but I say, and then like, all right then, do I need medications?" They say don't need medications, and then like, do I need this? Do I need that? They say no need. And most likely just that you think too much. And then like I take the because the other hospital wants my like MRI result. I just take it to them and then take a look at it. They'd be like, "Didn't the doctor tell you about this?" No. They just say I don't have Meniere's disease, and then they say, this is the thing that caused most of the things that you have, right? And I was like, what the fuck? I guess I'm not sure what is happening on the first hospital. Maybe the doctors is tired or something like that, or just they're just like still think it's a very small issue. But technically, if you read it through, what like AICA vestibular loop is kind of really compared to a person who has Meniere's disease is a very small issue. The problem is like it's very variable. To depends on people. It's like pain. Like some people get prick in the hand from a cactus, they will already roll up on the ground and yell mummy. And then there are people who literally get stabbed on the shoulders. They'd be like, "Oh, I guess I can go to the emergency hospital first time ever." Like those kind of things will happen. And yeah, when it comes to like dizziness, it's also like very subjective stuff. So like this is a very subjective thing, to be honest. This is why I never really go so far to bitch about it too much. I do, but it's more like in the sense of like yelling slur word while you dunk your hand into an ice bucket. Actually, it does help you relieve the pain a little bit. Yeah, you go check the internet. Actually, like they did talk about that too. But again, it's the internet. You can always like put some skepticism into it. But still, again, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I'm also in a sense like thank goodness I keep talking about this. My anger has dropped a little bit. Like even my vertigo, I'm slowly just don't care it's happening to me at the moment. Because well, when you get affected by your balance, you still can talk. It's not like it's like giving you difficulty. Sometimes I do starting to slur my word if it's too bad, but still. It's still functioning? Good. So here's the thing. finally they know that I really have some issues, and then like they basically like kind of hits off the bat, and then like yeah, I can officially say that from my MRI result, I do have something. I can't actually show you guys a receipt or anything like that, but still, it's happening to me constantly. Like when the vertigo is actually is getting worse every year, even though like I'm getting better at managing it, but I do know the vertigo is getting worse by years, and also because of that, I can't work. So far, I become content creators also like because I have much more freedom time to do this kind of things. When I'm busy, I'm just go and take a break. When I'm not, I can decide to do something, make some content, make a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Even I am dizzy that sometimes I still can technically function. So it's again like it's not really that bad. But the doctors did also like understand my frustrations is because I am in the state of I'm not bad enough to be disabled, but also at the same time I'm not well enough to be a able person. It's kind of like squishing between that. It's a very like difficult things that are happening to me right now because I only can focus for a limited amount of time. Even right now, everything I'm seeing right now is just spinning around. My eyes is like trying my best to adjust and tracking. Just looking at the camera, it's really hard to focus right now because I'm seeing double. Hold on, let me take a breather. This. Also, another thing is like I have allergies, so I kind of breathe less than most people. Like my nose is practically clogged most of the time, so I breathe less than most people. I know there are people who like only breathe with one side of their nose only. It's actually very common, but mine is like I can't breathe with one my nose, and then another one of my nose is like the doctor shoved the camera into it and say like how do you even manage to breathe most of the time? Use my mouth, I guess, and then I have to keep talking and then use my mouth to breathe. That can be a little bit complicated. Just the moment I talk about it, I'm starting being aware about this kind of thing. Usually, I just tune all this thing out while it's still happening to me. You manage to tune it out doesn't mean it's not happening to you. You just learn to ignore it. That comes the main rant that I want to rant about. My family, technically not just my family, almost everyone in the world, they don't exactly understand my struggle. Of course, there are people who are, if you really want to compare anyone with malaria disease, they are way worse. If you want to compare someone who went deaf, they're way worse. If you want to compare any other disability, they are way worse than what I have. But doesn't really relegate that I do have issues that actually almost close to being a disabled. Technically, in some country, it's already being a disabled. It's just that Malaysia is not actually disabled. Even the doctors that did tell me I'm actually bad enough that they actually can write a letter for me to register as a disabled person, but it's completely useless because I kind of can functions. The paper of being disabled I have is completely useless because I won't get any benefit from it because technically I can function, so there's no living complications. It's just that I can't do any job. That's only. But at the same time, I kind of can. Like, I am talking right now. I am making content. I am, in some sense, in some degree, I can function as a normal person. So I technically, if I try, I can work. This is why I'm doing art commission stuff, doing drawing, doing this, doing that, doing like online content. See, I can actually do well. And it's been a year. It's been a year, and it's slowly starting to improve. To be honest, like last month, like I got like certain growth in my YouTube channel and this and that other stuff. I got into a vtuber endorsement program that in Malaysia's that they're trying their best to help lots of like indie VTuber and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm also doing like my art commission stuff is starting to pick up. More people like do like my artwork and then they do want to commission me. I'm not sure. Sometimes I do feel like I'm not sure it's like out of pity or like they genuinely like my stuff. But yeah, um, a lot of people did praise my artwork too, so I'm not really sure. Like at this point, I just have a lot of self doubt, like because like I've been gaslight most of my life, so I'm not really have a lot of confidence on anything at all. But I know one thing is I am very stubborn, so no matter how bad I am trying to power through like lots of things, but still doesn't mean like it doesn't weigh down on my psyche. It doesn't weigh down me physically and mentally. My willpower is strong, but it's not always strong. Sometimes, especially when your family member is like have zero understand of your conditions, sometimes they just say, like the things you do not get like something like EPF, right? Like basically, if you don't have a stable job, stable income, you can't actually do anything. Like I keep telling them that I can't actually get a stable job. Like no people want to hire this kind of persons that basically only be able to function for like a month and then not function, barely function like for like the next month and then may go MIA third month. Nobody would want to hire that kind of person. It's like especially on Asia country, they they just see like useless person, they can replace you almost immediately. It's not like you are in like unless like I really have like a very big ass company that a family own that I can just nepotism hire like go into it and then do nothing and then still earn paycheck somehow. That is a very asshole way to do it. Even I will not try to do it. So sometimes my family pressure me to go to get a job. Sometimes my family just have zero understanding what my struggle is. Or sometimes I spend a very long time explaining to them like how my circumstances is, and then they finally understand. And then the next week, they seems to have amnesia and then forgot everything that I told them that actually it's very difficult for me to do things because I'm managing my condition well, so I look fine. That's the main problem. When I'm managing my condition well, I look like a normal person. The problem is I starting to push myself more and more and more, and then my condition will slowly degrade to bad. So when I'm good, means I'm managing well, and then they they just think I'm fine. You look fine, you walk fine, you can do fine. Of course you can go to work. It's not that simple. Like it's really hard to explain, but it's really frustrating to talk to them sometimes. But they kind of like I'm a very serious person. It seems that they do not at all understand me. It's been like I've been with them. I'm 29. It's old. I am old. I am a very old, useless person now. I very understand that point. I'm very well aware that I am very useless, that unable to work and still taking money from family. I still try my best to work as much as possible to earn some side bucks. So like I still have earned a bit of money that I can buy my own food. Just that. And if anyone that think that I'm at a very pitiful moment, don't. There are people are way worse than me. There are people way worse than me. People with cancers, people who literally gone deaf, people who literally got blind. Here's the thing, like don't do pity donations because I talk about this kind of things. I work my ass off, you can say, to prove myself that I am trying my best. But what I'm ranting right now is not because I what I'm ranting right now is not because I feel like, you know, angry, frustrated, or anything like that. It's just that I'm trying very hard and sometimes you will fail, sometimes you feel like a jab that people you are with, you've been living with your entire life, just cannot see through the struggle you are in. Basically, just brush it off. You look fine. Just that. Thankfully, I'm not a very depressive person. I'm just a, you know, usually anything I have, I just power through it. Even it's just a light joke. Still hurts, you know. Like say like, hey, when are you going to get a stable income? Hey, this job isn't stable. You should get your actual job. Maybe I should. Maybe I should try. Go and get a job and get fired in a month. Who knows? Maybe I'm lucky. I'm not getting fired because they just don't fire me out of pity. Who knows? It's not like I'm not a unable to function person. I know I can do work. I am an engineer. Also, I am 3D animator too. My skill is actually on the versatile side. I'm not sure why I'm even recording this in the first place. It's just maybe I took the thing they say a little bit way too seriously. Maybe it's because they're family, I take it way too seriously. I do understand they unable to understand my struggle or anything like that. Because again, like they are way more people is like having much more serious condition than me. But also same time, like they should at least remember every single time I told them like it's not that simple. Things are not that simple. But I can't just straight up and just tell them that because I've been telling them that for like ages. Sometimes individually to different family members, sometimes entirely as a group. And they might be understanding, maybe for like the first 2 months. And then the next one after that, they just like apparently they just having amnesia that, oh, now I look fine. It's not like I'm struggling anything. And then, like they just start talking things that it is. Sticks and stones. But words sometimes really can hurt people. So if you have a family member who is actually struggling, even like in the sense it's like very minor, it's not a very big thing. At least don't degrade the effort, even though they only output a minimum amount of effort. It's best to acknowledge one's like tiny effort. Who knows that tiny effort is exude out because they don't exactly can think straight most of the time because of their conditions. And this is why if they are left on their own device, they finally use the available clear head time they have to think is how to improve themselves, how to do better. Maybe it's just that tiny small time frame they ever have. Instead of like finally they are relieved from like they are suffering a bit, and then like, or like very annoyance that been like annoying them for like the entire like half of their life, and then they finally can sit down and relax a bit, but they didn't choose to relax. They choose to, now my brain is functioning. Let's think. Let's plan out stuff. Let's try my best. Maybe that period of amount of time is not really that long. So the plan is very poorly. The plan does not, may not, or will not work. Please do acknowledge the effort of the person that did the thing. So it's my rant, but also same time, I'm gonna let people know about this. So again, if you have family member like that, you are their last. I won't really say last hope. It's more or less maybe their last connections they can feel. Don't betray their connections, okay? Again, like it's not my family, it's like terrible people. They are worried about me too. That's why they say something like this. If they are not worried about me, they would not speak to me at all. Just treat me like a fart in the wind. You know? But they're not. They actively try their best to talk to me. Try their best to understand. It's just they have a very bad memory. They tried. It just seems that because of my conditions, I look really lazy. They just think I didn't try hard enough. Alright then, not. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already way too long. Anyone who have issues or not, just stay healthy, stay safe. Until next time, stay tuned on the next stream or next video. Who knows? Oh yeah, I should stream. I need to do my work. I have jobs to do. Yes. Tata. Bye.